Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I want to give you a warning, a serious warning about inflation. And before I get into it, I've got a couple things. First, you guys know that I never read stories before I read them with you. That's my promise to you. Part of it's out of laziness, but also because I want to react to what I think is going to happen before it happens in the media, because the mainstream media is it's easy to tell. Certain people can tell what's going on. What they're trying to push, what they're trying to hide. Type 1 if you agree. There's a certain point in all of our lives where we start to figure out how propaganda works and how it cycles through the nation and through the world, and you start to see it for what it is. So I'm going to give you a warning about inflation. I've told you inflation's getting worse. It's going to get worse. It's been 100% true. I've been talking about that for a year and a half, 2 years, ever since that Inflation Reduction Act came out, which was just a way to steal your taxpayer dollars and put it into the last president and all of Congress's pockets, including Zelensky. All right. Before we start there, I want to give you an offer. There is like a day and a half left of the Ninja AI Pro or 101 course. I believe, honestly, that it's a stupid offer at the price we're offering it to you. And once you're finished with the course, it's the pre-filming discount. I believe that it is going to inspire you, and you are going to start thinking completely different of how to use the internet, how to use information, and you're going to be able to buy time. And it's going to cause you to go into a totally different direction in life. I know it sounds crazy, but the professional that I brought in to help teach that course is extremely well known. Thank you so much, Sonny, for the super chat. All right. So we need to start thinking differently. Oh yeah, and there's the link down below. Sorry for that sale. We need to start thinking differently about how inflation works, right? Because a lot of people are very fooled by inflation because they think it's as simple as an increase in the money supply, but that's not really it. There's many other factors. One of which is the decrease of goods, the extra flow of money, but also the lack of knowledge of how certain aspects of our economy work. Now, I was at a party the other night with probably, 200 VC guys, venture capitalists, and they are sharks. They are hungry. I can't stand their business model. When they walk up to me, they ask me what I do, and I said, well, at this point now, I'm in VC too. Like, oh yeah, who do you work for? Myself. I'm a one-man shop. One of my companies just invests in projects, and I'm looking for projects pre-seed round technology plays. And I told them this, and it would piss them off. But I'm different than you guys because I'm not vicious and looking for an exit. I'm looking for a longer-term play. I'm going to be owning the next Apple, the next Amazon, those kind of things, and I will be owning between 1% and 10% of the company. You've got a bunch of employees running around from these firms. I tried to find one VC firm owner, and I couldn't find one in the entire thing. And a couple of them found out who I was because some subscribers came up and asked for some photos, and I'm taking photos of them. And all of a sudden, these VC guys just sort of swarmed around me. And one of them goes, "Well, what do you think about you think we're going to have a crash in the stock market?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're going to." I said, "But it's already started." They all lean in. And I started to explain what inflation is doing and why the stock market numbers are rising because people are searching for yield. I gave Venezuela as an example, Argentina as an example, all kinds of historic facts of when inflation happens. We move from a heavy inflation to a hyperinflation. What happens to stock market numbers? They were silent because it made 100% sense. All right. Now, I'm going to show you, we're going to read a CNN article, right? Mainstream media, which a lot of people still listen to, or they'd be out of business. That's how it works. And I'm going to show you how they're hiding things from you. I've never read this story, okay? So do me a favor, real quick. Type higher or lower if you believe that inflation is going to be higher in the next couple of years as opposed to lower. I'm just curious what you think, because we've already seen how the current president, Trump, has come out and he's been railing against the Fed to lower rates, right? Well, he understands he can't get them to do that because if they lower rates, it's going to skyrocket inflation. So he knows the only way he could do this is create demand, not artificial, but real demand for the US dollar, treasuries, bonds, and other equivalents, right? Which pretty much are those are it. And how he's going to do that is through stable coins, all right? And I'm trying desperately to buy up these fintech and DeFi plays right now and own substantial pieces in these companies and use these downturns as a time to accumulate. I don't buy like most retail buyers. I'm not emotional when it comes to buying, except I get fired up when things go down and I'm looking for any which way to grab money to buy more, right? And when I say money, I'm talking about cash in my bank. I don't margin, I don't leverage, I don't do that crap, okay? That's the devil's playground. All right, here we go. Inflation is easing. This is out of CNN. But another alarm bell is ringing about the US economy. This title hooked me, right? The Federal Reserve's preferred inflation gauge cooled as expected in January. Really? Well, I'm not expecting it to cool, so let's go into it. The good news came with another potential red flag for the US economic engine. Consumers pulled back their spending by the most in nearly 4 years. All right, so I'm not going to go any further. I'm going to tell you what is going on. Consumers are pulling back in things they don't need. Crap like big screen TVs, a brand new sofa. Hey, you know what? The bed's looking a little bad right now. Let's go buy a new mattress. Crap like that. They are stretching those things, okay? That's what is cooling. I haven't read the rest of the story yet. Type 2, if you agree with that. Type 3, if you're like, no, they stopped spending, they're buying less food. No, I mean, type 3 if you really think that. But I mean, pretty much I'd be typing 2 right now. All right, here we go. The Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index. I know that sounds real fancy and like I'm wrong, right? It rose 2.5% in January from the year before, slowing from December's 2.6%. All right, I'm going to read this again because I think people are going to gloss over this. That index rose 2.5% in January from the year before, right? From December's 2.6 annual rate. There's more spending in December. All right, let's and just so you know, that's what happens every year. So when this is a fancy way the media wants to fool you and tell you inflation's going down. Some of the highest spending times in the year for Americans are in November and in December because of the holiday season. They got to buy that turkey. They got to buy the presents. All right. In January, people freak out mentally because they have a spending hangover. They got their credit card bill and they immediately start returning things, doing credit card chargebacks. If you go ask a credit card company, some of the highest times for credit card chargebacks are in January. All right. So this is a fact. This is like saying the sky is blue. And since it's blue today, things aren't good. I mean, it's like stating a fact. You're like, what? Okay, yeah, you stated a fact and then something stupid behind it. Yeah, but it's blue. This is really what's happening. But the crazy thing is 95% of the human beings will read this story and go, oh, inflation's going down. No, idiot, it's not. This is a normal cycle. Hey, here's another normal cycle. More homes are sold in the spring and early summer than they are in the fall and winter. Duh. But you know what? You know who's never going to tell you that? You're a real estate agent because they need the listing. It's the middle of winter. All right, here we go. It says here, consumer spending was expected to drop off in January. Well, no freaking duh, because it happens every year. There's typically a post-holiday... Oh, see, this is what the ninja gets himself into. There's typically a post-holiday expenditure hangover. Wow, they're using the same words as me to start the year. Plus, last month's retail sales data came in far below forecasts. They're telling you right now that even last year's data, they're like, hey, Christmas is going to be great. Well, I mean, not that great. Okay, it sucks. That's what's happening. Things aren't good. All right. But consumers pulled back far more than economists expected. What? So far, this news story is not looking good at all. Like it's bad, right? And this is CNN. Spending fell 0.2% for the month. Adjusted for inflation, it sank 0.5%. Those are the biggest monthly declines since February of 2021. Spending on goods, particularly autos and other big ticket items, dropped off most. By Friday's data showed consumers continue to spend on the essentials such as housing and gas, while putting their discretionary dollars towards eating out and other leisure activities at hotels. I can't get over how expensive certain things are, like hotels right now. But the thing is there are aspects of the economy that are falling right now because they can't sell anything. You know, I won't go to Disney. I can't support Disneyland. I grew up being such a Disneyland guy, but watch it go so woke. I can't put my dollars behind them. But I didn't know all that stuff back in 2008. And what I did know is because of the Great Recession, nobody's showing up. They collapsed the price of their annual passes. And it cost me, instead of going to Disneyland for 2 days, I could buy an annual pass for my family members. And it was incredible, right? It's a perfect example of what happens during a crash. So what's interesting is this last Thanksgiving, we were seeing stories like Walmart and Home Depot where they're saying sale. You peel back the sale item and it's the same price, right? Well, the reason why is because they have such a problem now. They can't, and hey, real quick, can everyone say thank you to the moderators for getting all the trash out of here? Just say thank you to the mods, because ever since I started talking about crypto, the evil mindset, the greed mindset has come out in people, and they're losing their minds because they don't understand how big Ninja Nation is, all of you guys, and they're just losing their minds. So a lot of people get angry because they can't look at themselves in the mirror, so they want to run out of keyboard ink, being a keyboard warrior. But thank you all the mods. But my point being is that these companies now are squeezed so tight, and with these tariffs coming in, there's going to be some short-term pain. Certain prices are going to go up, and the mainstream media is going to rail against Trump, saying it's his fault. Well, this is the evolution of a revolution, and I freaking love it. See, we're going to go through the short-term pain. There's going to be some price hikes. This is where you don't spend money frivolously. You go buy assets like gold, silver, Bitcoin, things like that, and especially you buy Bitcoin on the dip, right? And these other altcoins, things like that, you don't go crazy. My point being is these are all going to expand in price well above the inflation that's going to happen in the nation. Okay. And if you're positioned right, it all comes crashing down. Collectibles, things like that, things like art and all that stuff, it collapses. I owned a baseball card shop when I was a sophomore in high school. I have made so much money in collectibles, everything from electric trains to everything. That was a lot of crap. But my point being is that I've seen 3 cycles now, 3 major recessions where I scoop it all up at rock bottom prices. And so, this is where you should be getting ready to pounce. You should be the lion that's just watching the herd, and you're picking out which one you want to attack. And you're just crouched down, and you're just waiting, and you're trying to stay out of the wind because you don't want anyone else going, is that a lion? Is there a predator over here? We're all just eating. And just wait for all the stupid people. You're like, all right, I can catch that one. That's a stupid business owner. Ain't running his business right. Yeah, I mean, and some of you probably work for some of these companies. You're like, these guys are morons. This company's going to collapse. Dude, type 4 if you are like, I really think my company's going to collapse because it's run by morons. I'm not joking. Like, I know lots of them. And you got to sit back and wait. Do you know that some of you are in this next crash are going to become the owners of massive companies instead of the employees? I hope you get ready for that, because that's what I want you ready for. This is like time to crouch, be chill, and not be fancy. I guess unless you're in a group of VC firms and you wear a fancy watch and they all run over to you like, oh, Papa, I must talk to you. Whatever, things fake. All right, I hope you got something out of this. If you want to take AI seriously and you want to get ahead of the pack and actually buy your time back, I'm not joking. I think it's the stupidest offer ever. I cannot wait to reveal who's helping me teach that course. Links down below. Hopefully you have a great day. The Ninja is out.